Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Twisted Metal Part 2. This time around we're going to this river park place where it's like some summer park in LA. Probably there's businesses and shops, and there's 6 more enemies for us to fight. This time we're pitted against Warthog, the other guy wants that magical box, and there's Darkseid again. Somehow he respawned and now he's coming out for revenge on us. Because sometimes enemies seem to survive the battle, so they respawn somewhere. There's something interesting about this game too. When enemies die in this game, the remains of their cars just left on the side of the road. It doesn't even look mangled or destroyed. It looks perfectly intact. It's just lying on the side of the road destroyed, which actually is kind of confusing sometimes. If you're in the middle of a battle, and you might think, oh look, there's that enemy there. Oh wait, no it's not. And what makes it even worse too is that thing on the top of the screen that says what enemy you're currently locked onto or what enemy is currently in front of you, and shows their health, it is inaccurate. A lot. It tells you that an enemy is called something else, but it's not. Like one time it told me that Mr. Grimm is some silver car that can shoot extreme homing missiles. Another time it said that Warthog was some small little motorcycle guy that drives around and can kill easy. It's very inaccurate a lot of the time too, which makes it hard to figure out what enemies are what sometimes and who you should be going against, who you should be attacking. So the mapping system in this game is completely atrocious. And it's not so much a problem in the first game. The first game is mostly all flat levels and things like that, but the sequels it's going to be even worse. Because the sequels, there's like different levels of playing, kind of like an upper level or lower level, and the radars can show you that. So you have no idea if enemies are actually really close to you or not, or maybe they're actually far away from you. You'd have no idea a lot of the times. That's how the sequels to this Twisted Metal are. This game is more simple. It's probably the simplest game in the Twisted Metal franchise. It's also one of the harder games in the Twisted Metal franchise too, mostly because of the controls. A lot of this game gets its challenge from the controls. So you see we're going after Pit Viper. Pit Viper is the only character in this game that never returned in any of the sequels, and that's saying a lot. Yeah, he never returned in the sequel. At least Yellow Jacket got to return in one of the sequels. It was Twisted Metal Black, and that was the only sequel Yellow Jacket sadly had a return appearance. I wish Yellow Jacket could have been in Twisted Metal 2 and Twisted Metal 3. People probably wouldn't have complained about Twisted Metal 3 as much if Yellow Jacket was playable in that game. And this map is really big. We're dealing with some bigger maps in the game now, because this game does get, a lot of the maps in the later levels of this game do get really large. And you see these Christmas trees there is a big reminder that this game is set on Christmas Eve of 2005. And there's Outlaw. Outlaw is some cop that wants this competition to end. He thinks this competition should, end. So that's why he's going to be a cop and going to the competition to try to stop the competition from happening again. And they're also color-coded too, as you can see. You'll see the little dots by radar color-coded based on what enemy is what. Even then, it's still hard to tell sometimes what enemy is where, what enemy is what. Sometimes it's easy to get the list. Apparently Outlaw is really strong. Almost pretty much as strong as Darkseid. Only Outlaw is a lot smaller and harder to hit. Because the thing about Darkseid, it's true, Darkseid's big and large, but Darkseid's a big target. Darkseid sticks out like a sore thumb. It's easy to defeat enemies that stick out like sore thumbs. And there's Warthog. You don't want to run into Warthog. It's also the only game in the series that encourages people to crash into each other, like in a more traditional demolition derby type manner. But the sequels don't really want you to do that, because in the sequels, your enemies are overpowered, especially in Twisted Metal 2. In Twisted Metal 2, your enemies have unlimited specials and unlimited weapons in general. You don't want to run into your enemies in Twisted Metal 2. But in this game may fully allows you to do that. Which this game actually might be one of the more fair games in the series in terms of what enemies are allowed to do. They don't recover their health, they don't recharge their health at all. And sure, they might know more about where things are, but at least they are more realistic, in which they don't necessarily magically know where you are, magically know where stuff is to pick stuff up. So that's kind of good, because in Twisted Metal 3, the opponents in Twisted Metal 3 are dirty scumbags. They cheat like hell. Well, not really cheat, but still, it's like they have advanced knowledge of the whole level, which is something that the people in the first game don't have. Actually, the first game is actually kind of more realistic in that sense. The first game may very well be the most realistic game in the series. It also has the worst graphics in the series, because it's, the first game of the series. So what do you expect for 1995 graphics? Then again, graphically, this actually is not one of the best games that came out in 1995. There's a lot of games that looked way better that came out in 1995. Jumping Flash being an obvious example. Jumping Flash came out in 1995, and that game looks way better than this. Namco's Ridge Racer looks way better than this. That game actually came out in like 1994, I think, it's like very early on, so. And then there's Wipeout. I'm pretty sure Wipeout looked a lot better than this too. Pretty much most games that came out in 1995 that I know of kind of look better than this. I'm trying to think if there's any games that, that came out in 1995 that didn't look better than this. I don't know. If you park around here in this little hidden space, you could get a full free health refill there. It's hidden right there. And And so, there's only 4 more enemies left, but again, because the damage you do to him is permanent, you don't have to worry about them recharging health, which is something you have to worry about in later games. You have to carefully stalk your opponents and botch their every move. But you don't have to do that in this game, so that's actually kind of nice. It's easy, if you're very maneuverable like I am, it's really easy to drive around Dark Side. Like Yellow Jacket's ideal because he's strong and maneuverable. It's easy to drive around. It's easy to orbit your enemies and drive around them and smash into some of the weaker ones and get the weaker ones killed. Like Mr. Grimm, for example. Mr. Grimm is one of the weaker. Well, Mr. Grimm probably is the second most weakest enemy in this game. Spectre being the weakest because Spectre's car is made out of paper mache. And so Mr. Grimm just got a few shots. It's funny, ramming into Mr. Grimm actually does more damage than sending missiles, ballistic missiles. You think Mr. Grimm would be weak to something that big? Again, he's Mr. Grimm. He's a Grim Reaper, and he wants to eat Calypso's soul. But if you kill the Grim Reaper, does that mean you can't die anymore because the Grim Reaper is supposed to be deaf himself? Who knows? Mr. Grimm is one of the few characters in this franchise that appears in every single game in this franchise. He's in, and the only other 2 cars that are like that in this franchise are Warthog and Sweet Tooth. They're in every game. And then the kind of thing that kind of breaks the record for the cars appearing in different games is Twisted Metal 4. Since Twisted Metal 4 is a very unique cast of characters, pretty much every car in Twisted Metal 4 is unique. That's actually my favorite one, believe it or not. You'll see to hate Twisted Metal 4, but I actually really like Twisted Metal 4. I think it's a really good game. I highly recommend that one. I definitely will Let's Play that one eventually. I'll probably do multiple Let's Plays of that game, actually, to play as some of the different cars. I don't know if I'll do any more Let's Plays of this one, though, because this one, you see, you play for the game once, you kind of get a good idea what the game is, and there's a lot of different cars, but a lot of them are, like the gameplay isn't drastically different depending on who you play. I don't think it's worth doing a Let's Play for every single car in the game. That's just me, I don't know. Maybe if people request me to do more Let's Plays, then, like one person wanted me to do multiple Let's Plays of Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles, but I said I didn't think it was worth it, because the story's the same thing, regardless of what character you play as. And you get all the same stuff. You don't get any specials or any different stuff depending on what character you play. So there isn't really much of a point in playing as different characters in the game. I don't think you viewers on YouTube or places like that would want to seriously watch. So pretty much have this battle in the bag. Now Warthog and Mr. Grimm is all that's left, and they're very low. But Warthog can still take me out easy. He can still destroy most of my health too, because Warthog is big and strong. He drives a frickin' army tank or something like that. Of course he's gonna be. Look at that. His whole army tank alone really destroyed me. What's interesting in this game too is it's really easy to accidentally run into dead opponents that remains, and then you can actually get killed by running into dead enemies. This is one of the only games where dead enemies can actually kill you and actually pose a serious threat to you. Don't you think that's actually quite interesting in that sense? So Mr. Grimm is all that's left. You have to run him down when you first cocktails at him, because Mr. Grimm really hates cocktails for some reason. And so there it is. Mr. Grimm is no more. So yep, that's this battle. This is Ray Phoenix signing out.